What's up, guys? How's it going? This is Juwan again with another video. Today I'll be doing a repair to my Kaabo Mantis V2 Fluid Edition, and as you may know, I make a decent living on this scooter. I'm doing Uber Eats and DoorDash here in Atlanta. I'm going to be reflowing the hydraulic fluid, bleeding it, and then refilling it. And this is the kit that I'm going to be using. Unfortunately, this is going to be my third, maybe fourth time doing it because I have a slow leak in the line. So I'm going to eventually have to replace the whole line. But for the meantime, I'm going to be bleeding the hydraulic fluid again. This is the kit that I bought off of Amazon. And so when you buy this kit off of Amazon, and I guess I could put a link in the description, I definitely recommend getting one that uses the filter. It's just a whole lot easier and better. Trying to do this with one hand while holding the phone. Whole lot better than using two syringes. It's easier when using a filter, and you get a better result. It gets all of it, helps get out of the air out of the lines when using a filter. And there are videos on YouTube already with people doing it, but they're too long. And believe it or not, there's one long video where he does it wrong, because he doesn't start from the bottom. He starts from the top when putting the fluid in. So of course he's not using a filter either, because the filter goes up there at the top, and you'll see what I'm talking about, because the bubbles flow upward, you know, just like how Mother Nature works. And so it doesn't make sense to put the fluid in from the top. So you're basically pushing the bubbles, keeping the bubbles in the system. So this is the kit, and I'll show you how everything works after I get everything set up. So hang tight. Alrighty, just a quick update. So what I did was took off the I took the brake off, caliper off, and it doesn't matter. You know, there are 4 screws on the brake caliper, and it doesn't matter which 2 you take off. You can take off the ones from the top and just take off this portion, or you could take off the whole piece. You know, using it doesn't really matter. You could have also disconnected it using these 2 screws, but I left these screws on. But inside the kit, you're gonna find one of these, and and so after you take this off and you take off the you have to take off the brake pads, of course, also. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna slide this in the opening where the brake and the brake pads are, and maybe I can do it with one hand. Let's see, this side. And so you're gonna slide this on, and I don't know if I can do it while holding the phone. You know what, I'm not gonna try. So the next thing I'm gonna be doing is loosening up the brake lever. By the way, it's gonna be the brake lever on the left side of the scooter for the rear wheel. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be loosening up this brake lever, and I'm going to be turning it upward a little bit so that it's perfectly horizontal. Then I'm going to be using a T15. This is one of the most annoying things about this scooter. I don't know why they don't just use an Allen screw like every other screw is on this scooter. They're using every other screw on this scooter is either a hex or a Phillips. But then you got this oddball screw here that's neither. It's a T15 star screw, and so that's the size that you would need, because you have to unscrew this. So I'm gonna make it level, and then I'm gonna unscrew this, and you have to be very careful. You're gonna be unscrewing 2. You're gonna be unscrewing this one, and you have to be careful because it's gonna come with, there's gonna be a little O-ring, and you don't want to lose that O-ring. You lose that O-ring, you're screwed, because it's gonna be leaking. That's what stops the hydraulic fluid from leaking. And there's also another one you're gonna have to unscrew down here on the brake caliper. See, I have this on now, and that is let's see if I can find it on here. I always forget which side is this on. It's a tiny little screw. There it is right there. That's just an Allen, and I think that's a 2mm. Don't quote me on that. But while we're on the subject on sizes of Allen screws, if you're an electric scooter owner, there are many different sizes of Allen screws you can be using for maintenance. So I recommend you buy one of these bad boys. I bought this off of Amazon. It has all sizes of the Allens in both metric and imperial. And you're supposed to, all of the sizes are supposed to be imperial. But for some reason, when I unscrew the brake caliper, I had to use one of the metric sizes. European, well, I say European, but every other country except USA, I had to use this freaking metric size Allen key in order to get it off. But on the instructions online and everything, they all say 5mm, but 5mm doesn't work for me. It doesn't fit the screws, those two screws for the brake caliper. So I had to use, I think, was it 7/10. Hard for me to see. This one right here, that's what I had to use to unscrew it. So if you don't want to have headaches with not having the right sizes, just buy one of these off of Amazon. They're not that expensive, and it comes with this so that you can get good leverage when you're dealing with really tight screws that might have Loctite on it or something. And so I recommend every electric scooter owner have this kit. Okay, so I'm gonna be unscrewing the one that I showed you up there, and I'm gonna be unscrewing this one. The syringe is gonna go down here. Put a cloth on the floor, because when you unscrew it, this one on the bottom, gravity is gonna take its course, and it's gonna start, brake fluid is gonna start leaking out. By the way, it's not really called brake fluid. It's called mineral oil, but I'm gonna call it brake fluid anyway, because that's what cars call it. Alrighty, so as you can see, I have my towel down here, and I've taken off the screw, the screw here, and I have a good brownie paper towel here that caught the leakage, and I have my syringe. I've attached my tube to the syringe, and so I'll be let's see, and so I have my bottle of mineral oil here. I'm going to be opening it, sucking up the mineral oil, putting it, attaching it to here, and then pushing it in. You don't have to worry about overfilling this. Fill it, suck up as much as you can, fill up the whole tube. It really doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about overfilling the system, and the reason why is because of the filter. And so the filter is up here, and it's going to catch the excess, so it's impossible. As a matter of fact, it's a benefit to overfill this, because that's going to help get the bubbles out as you filling the system with new brake fluid. You're going to be the extra oil. It's just going to come up through here, and the bubbles are going to come out. It's going to come out the top, and that's how you get your air bubbles out of the line. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do next. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is that this bottom 2mm hex screw also has an O-ring on it. I talked about the O-ring at the top up there that uses that T15 star screw, but I didn't tell you that this one also has an O-ring. Both of them have O-rings, so be very careful not to lose those O-rings. Now, I also said that you'd be screwed if you lose one. However, this kit that you buy off of Amazon does have spare O-rings, but I don't know if they fit because I've never lost an O-ring. So I don't want to find out the hard way that they actually don't fit, but you do get spare O-rings in your kit. So as you can see, I got the syringe attached. And just to show you, the filter is empty now. I'm gonna try to do this while holding my phone. Hopefully I don't make a fool of myself. So shouldn't be that hard, right? All I'm gonna do is squeeze it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze it in. Gotta go slow. Gotta be don't try to force it. There's a lot of resistance, so it goes in slowly, and I'm just gonna squeeze all of it, man. There is quite a bit of resistance, but that's normal. And you can't hear it on the video, but I can hear it at the filter. I can hear bubbles go bloop bloop bloop. Uh-oh, I'm hearing some leaking. All right, let me go see. I'm hearing some leaking over on the other side. All righty, maybe I don't have this screwed in tightly. Let's see. I don't have a stopper. By the way, that stopper is going to come in handy. So there's some leaking. See, there's leaking there. What's causing that to happen? Let's see. Gonna unscrew this and screw it back on. Why is it leaking? It shouldn't be leaking. It should be coming up through the tube. Oh, I think I know why. I might have to disconnect my cell phone mount. I think it's pushing against I'm gonna be stubborn. I don't want to go through the hassle of disconnecting my cell phone mount. I guess I don't have this screwed on. Yeah, I didn't have it screwed on tightly. So let me go ahead and fix that. Okay, so luckily I didn't have to disconnect my phone mount. But one thing I wanted to point out, as you can see, I've pushed the fluid through and got the excess going into the funnel. But one very important thing I wanted to point out, as you get towards the end, before when the syringe is almost empty, make sure you're holding it upright like this, because it would suck if you push it all out. And you don't really have to worry too much because there's still more in the hose. But just to be safe, you do not want to push air into the system. Okay, so you're getting all the bubbles out, but don't put more bubbles in yourself because you aren't paying attention. So just to be absolutely sure, hold the syringe upright like that, and that probably isn't gonna look good on video holding the camera like that, but hold it upright like this. Okay, and then be careful not to over push and get air into it. And so you probably won't, because when you hold it upright like that, just to be extra cautious not to do that. So I'm gonna stop right there, and I got plenty of excess in the funnel. So when you once you're done, before you disconnect it, you want to take this is included in the little box that holds the funnel. So you want to go ahead and push that in, right? You're going to push that in, and then you're going to unscrew it off, and then you're going to set it on top of the bottle. Gotta be careful not to knock it over. See, the lid, the cap is still off purposely, because I'm going to unscrew off the funnel, put it on top of the bottle, and then take the stopper off and let the excess mineral oil drain back into the bottle. Okay, so just wanted to show you, as you can see, I have the filter sitting on top. I didn't take the stopper out yet, but more importantly, it would absolutely suck if you don't do this part the right way. When you disconnect the syringe, mine is already disconnected, make sure that you're holding this up like this. You don't want to know why? Because if you don't, all of your hard work is just going to drip right onto the floor, and you're going to have to do it all over again. So make sure you're holding your caliper upright, and use one hand to know where that screw is when you put it back on. Again, don't lose the O-ring. Disconnect the syringe, screw it back on. Use your 2 millimeter right there. your 2mm Allen key to screw it on tight, holding it upright like this the whole time, because you don't want all your hard work to leak back out. And then finally, just disconnect this red stopper thing here, reinstall your brake pads, reconnect it to the wheel, and then, you know, make sure that your your brake pads are lined correctly, and you're pretty much done. Alrighty, so I just want to show you the finished result. I got everything reconnected, and as you can see, there's very little travel time. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do this again in probably another 3 weeks. As the leak, wherever the mystery leak is, progresses, the lever will go closer and closer and closer to the handlebars, and where there's no more power in the rear brake, and I'll have to do this crap all over again. So I'm going to have to buy a complete system. I don't know what it is, which will probably include the lever, the line, the caliper, the whole deal, and replace the whole thing, because I don't know where it's leaking at. So I'll have to do that, because this is annoying doing this. But anyway, hope you learned something today. Take care.